All right, so our first contender is MegAzumarill. Jeskai Ascendancy, Niv-Mizzet. I thought this was going to be like the 5-color Niv-Mizzet that like draws by color combination, but it was the retrace one. Dude, this deck, oh, it's dirty, guys. It's so dirty. All these decks, they remind me of all the decks that just absolutely smoke me on Brawl like every time. Just like the truly the nasty, value engines in 5 colors, and it's just like they just ramp well. They meet all your threats. They draw way too many cards. That's so these cards like. So guys, keep in mind, I'm going to show you 3 decks today, and just put a vote in 1, 2, or 3. I think that would be the best way to kind of dictate this. We'll revisit this video in like 3 weeks, and we'll crown a victor to get the Shocklands. That's pretty cool. Like, it's basically the cost of these decks. So this one clocks in. Let's kind of measure the price here. This one you could get on TCG Player for $66. So that's kind of nice. Let's read the commander. Flying, hexproof, or monocolored. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard with exactly 2 colors has Jumpstart. You may cast that card from a graveyard by discarding the card in addition to paying its other cost, then exile it. Very well. So let's kind of see what's popping in the Lacken. Looks like they have a cool little battle here, so that's pretty sweet, and just generic mana, so that's always intriguing to see, to say the least. And okay, then this isn't exactly 2 colors. Very well. And remember that these cards are all based on, really kind of like inspired by the card Jeskai Ascendancy. So these are just this deck is so sick. I'll just wait till I'm just gonna start with the enchantments because they're just really amazing. Like, I can just see some pretty wild stuff happening here. But Jeskai Ascendancy is definitely like a card that people will kind of utilize for going wide boards. Basically as, ways to prowess, their squads. Basically, by playing non-creature spells, their creatures get 1/1 until end of turn, and then you simply untap them. This goes also very well in green, because if you have like mana dorks, you can go mana positive, and you can basically like cycle through your deck if you have enough mana to keep untapping and keeping up with your non-creature spells. So a very interesting card, very strong for $1.54. It looks like this particular person has co-opted Niv-Mizzet, the one who retraces cards or exiles them in favor of casting them over again, is going to play the card Insidious Roots to make those mana dorks, which is really interesting because those are those plans. So that is a very interesting tech there to co-op with Jeskai Ascendancy. That's actually pretty insane for sure. Looks like there's also just some really nice kind of multicolored payoffs here. Very awesome stuff. Some kind of like recursion and storm value here. Widespread Thieving is a hideaway card. Very cool. Yeah, so you get a lot of like kind of ramp. I love the Widespread Thieving. That was such a good card too. A lot of like hidden gems for sure, just in that kind of little area. But let's kind of see like the juice of their deck, kind of see what they're doing. I do love Aziza to kind of copy your instance of sorcery simply by tapping 2 creatures. It's so amazing, especially for Ascendancy decks too. You're just really popping off, right? This one is like a recursion type of target for sure, because you can return it to your graveyard, to your hand, and I do believe that would also trigger your roots too, because it would count as leaving your graveyard, right, when a card leaves your graveyard. So that's a fun kind of common to include there for sure. Faeburrow Elder, of course, as just a 5-mana bomb. We just absolutely love that for mana production with your Niv-Mizzet. And Fallaji will also just count as all those colors, right? And oh my god! And then the multicolored spells you cast have Convoke. That's a super cool inclusion. Probably on the pricier side, but yeah. That seems to be like the really nice one there. It's like basically a Kiltilda, and it just turns on everything. Instead of just like humans tapping for mana, like all your multicolored spells can be convoked. That's kind of interesting. Or your creatures can tap for it, so that's pretty cool. General Ferrous Rokiric, just to kind of get busy with tokens. We just love to see tokens going on with Ascendancy. You have Jegantha, the Wellspring. that will pay for only thing with colored mana. I cannot pay generic mana costs. So that card is so sick too. For freaking Ascendancy, that's just wild. It's a crazy mana dork, isn't it? It's just a wild card. So cool. This just looks like to be like a Simic Value Lord. Just like being Kellen, just being like that total like nasty Kellen just gets busy on your stuff. Karoo Goalkeeper for some mana. I love that. And yeah, the Niv-Mizzet Nasty Boy, isn't it? And this is like kind of the one that I usually see on Brawl, is this one where you have the color pairs. You enters and you reveal the top 10 cards of your library for each color pair. Choose a card that's actually those colors from among them. Yeah, the color pair seems great. You could get so many cards that way. It's kind of wild, right? Especially within 5 colors. Here's a Savine the Chronoclasm. And this is a 5 mana 2/2 human wizard. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Savine the Chronoclasm. It's cool. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard, each turn copy that spell. Yeah, that's sweet. You may choose new targets for the copy. Kind of a nasty boy there for 27 cents. Vega. Whenever you cast a spell from anyone other than your hand, draw a card. Very cool. And Verdant Eidolon. Sacrifice Verdant Eidolon, add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you may return Verdant Eidolon from your graveyard to your hand. Wow, another really cool Roots payoff there. Now let's read our commander here one more time. Yeah, so you just get the value. You just get the value from them. You can just return them to your hand. Chef's kiss. You know, and I remember looking at these decks, and I was really stoked on all of them. Their price tags, for one, the just sheer like kind of thought that kind of goes into these ones were just really stellar. And I was like, and these are just like kind of decks that I don't usually make. These are like very kind of spelly like slash. Are they though? They're just like very cool. Like, you know, they're really devoted to the commander and like the cards that they really kind of fished out the ideas of, you know what I mean? So it looks like we're going to have some sort of flashback cards here, which is kind of cool. It makes sense that we kind of do that. I did notice this one as well. I have played against some pretty nasty decks on Brawl that do play Lessons from Life in this kind of, you know, these kind of slower piles that just want to value you out, basically. So we see kind of a good amount of that. I did mention to them that I did like Applied Geometry. They said that took hold of a doppelgang. That took place of a doppelgang because it went up in price a little bit, but they still like Applied Geometry for making a really nice fractal creature that's a copy of one of your non-aura permanents. So really interesting kind of card there. I mean, could be like anything, like, you know, could be copying an Ascendancy. Like, I don't know, it could be a non-aura permanent, it says. That's a lot of options. You know, it's kind of like just doesn't, unfortunately it's not like a spark double, but it's can copy any permanent, right? So kind of superior in some ways. Here's Bring to Light, and this is the card that sees of how many colors you paid into this, and you're able to tutor up a card, I believe, or put it right onto the battlefield, right? Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with a converted mana loss costs less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast Bring to Light. Exile that card, then shuffle your library. You may cast that card without paying its cost. You know what? I got to remember this card for Aragorn. And I think really the thing that I've been really sleeping on Aragorn, the Uniter, is like these double cast cards. I've been really sleeping on them. You know, there's not too many that do this, but I think there is quite if I looked into it. And it's like something like this, like a Bring to Light that will trigger Aragorn, and then whatever else you bring out for the battlefield and cast again, that will trigger him again. So there's definitely some possibilities there. Just a great card overall. Definitely stimulates me to kind of go back to my Ascendancy list with Aragorn and maybe start with a Bring to Light, and that's kind of like where I start. You know, think about Dreadhorde Arcanist and kind of those cards that will help you get redundant casts is kind of nice. Rishgar's Expertise would do that as well. So definitely it's a really sweet card here for sure. People have been definitely loving this in the budget builds. Holy Ritual, ugh. So just remove everything with like, you know, permanent value 2 or less, right? Yeah, and then you get to add mana for it. That's pretty strong. $1.04 is pretty sweet. Dire Strain Rampage. So that will actually hit, I believe, any land, correct? Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search the library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search the library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap and shuffle. Pretty versatile, right? You know, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do stuff to your own things, too. Grave Upheaval. This is basic land cycling. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. It's fun. Ill-Timed Explosion. This is just a nice little board wipe here. You get to draw and discard a couple cards as well. If you choose, if you would like to do the damage, you can discard the cards. Otherwise, you're just a draw 2 for 4. Gerard's Orders. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards and reveal them. Put them one into your hand, the other into your graveyard. Very well. Yeah, this one's pretty sweet, obviously, because you can entomb like those value engines. Yeah, and then we're just talking about Lessons of Life. That's fine. Merciless Eviction. Choose one. Exile all artifacts. Exile all creatures. Exile all enchantments. Exile all planeswalkers. Brutal. Mind into Matter. Yes. So this is a new one from Strixhaven. Draw X cards, and you may put a permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Nice. Molten Note. That was the one that DG Hermit was also mentioning when we were doing the Aragorn Ascendancy. He noticed the Molten Note would be fantastic because you can simply untap creatures and get a little extra value, right? Because you get to hit, you based on how much mana you put in this, you can hit a target creature as well. So it has pretty good removal value too. You know, it could just be like a 4 damage for 4, plus you get to untap a couple creatures. And it says untap all creatures in control. I mean, it's all of them. It's pretty sweet. Pursue the Past. I have seen this. This is definitely considered it for my Kaladin deck, but I did go a little more just kind of light on that, more creature-based discard draw for the vehicles. But yeah, this is just a nice little value engine too for, you know, having a flashback that does the discarding and drawing. Seems very nice, right? Here you go, Reborn Hope. Return target multi-card from your graveyard to your hand. So yes, a little selection there, as you would say. Very well. Also, you know, from your graveyard, right? I'm kind of getting the idea here. Splatter Technique, man, this is a juicy one, guys. You want to be like your 5-color mage at your pod? Like, let's go, baby. Splatter Technique, draw 4 cards. Splatter Technique deals 4 damage to each creature and planeswalker. And this, all the sheer multicolor aspects of it seems to be holding very true, isn't it? Put X11 green Saproling tokens into play or demand. Search your library for a multicolor card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Perfect. Fine. Sylvan Scrying. Search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. Great. Wreck and Rebuild. Choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Mill 5 cards and you may put a land card from a graveyard onto the battlefield tap flashback. Okay. I can dig that. I love that mill. I love milling. That's definitely going into my Maria Baltern friend action. That's a really good rate, and I could flash that back too. All right, Chef's Kiss on the Wreck and Rebuild. That one's a sweet one. Guys, are you taking notes today? Dang. Anguish Unmaking. This just hits any permanent, right? Yeah, brutal. A non-land permanent. Okay. Auroral Procession. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, more recursion from the graveyard. These are all instants. So counterpoint here is just, oh man, that's like another like counter then cast type of spell. That's pretty sweet. Counter Squall. Okay, very well. Like a negate, and they lose a little life there, and it's multicolored. Oh man, so cool. Creative Outburst. This is going to go to the the graveyard, I assume. Death Sprout. Destroy target creature, search your library for a basic land card, put it into your battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Cool. It's kind of giving me that saga vibes. Destroy creature, destroy thing. Then you get to put a little rampies on there. Forgotten Gods, right? So I'm wondering, there's like definitely like probably a emphasis for the instance. Here is Dispark. Exile target permanent with mana file for greater. That's a sweet card. Dina's Guidance. This is an entomb / you can tutor up a creature to your hand. That's nice for 3 mana. Embrace the Paradox. That's just seems like another, probably I draw a couple cards and put a land on the battlefield. Another one. That's that instant speed though. Damn. Energy Arc. Untap any number of target creatures. Those creatures neither deal nor receive combat damage this turn. Oh, gross. Eureka Moment. That's good. Nice instant speed stuff. Yeah, this is the juice, huh, guys? And then you have Invert Polarity, Expansion Implosion, little copy action. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I see what you're doing over there. Invert Polarity is probably like the best like multicolored counterspell here. Maybe the most underrated one. I've talked about that one before. It's just a nasty one that you can take possession of that spell if you just win the coin flip. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff, I would say. So this has some nice little sacrifice, some edict kind of possibilities, and you get to choose 2. That's a really nice. I didn't know about this Orzhov card. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And you can do all of them if you entwine it. That's really cool. Lorehold Command, that has a lot of value, of course. Yeah, it draws cards too. Magma Opus, that's just one of those other big spells that can definitely go to the graveyard if you'd like that too. Make a treasure. They are pretty expensive, these ones. Planar Genesis, yeah, that's a nice little 2 mana thing. Kind of like the upgraded Growth Spiral, right? Because you kind of are always, pretty much always getting a land from your top 4, usually, right? Where Growth Spiral only just does draw 1. Usually you want to ramp early, right? Excuse me. Prismari Command, yeah, that's a banger for sure. Lots of modes on there. Can hit an artifact, you can loot some cards, you can do some damage to things. Yeah, that's a solid one. Putrefy, destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. Fantastic. The new Charm, ooh, spicy. Yeah, that's has so many modes. That's pretty wild. Quandra's Command, okay, a little bouncy. Okay. Maybe also some synergy with your roots, too. Kind of got some modes on there for shizzle. Dovin's Veto, just say no to non-creature spell. This will build your graveyard up. Oh, it wants to see you have a decent-sized graveyard. Yeah. Got it. Void Slime, yeah. I think this works very well with those Magma Opus and Creative Outbursts you have. Void Slime. Counter target spell activated ability or triggered ability. Whew, nice. Windgrace is a judgment. For any number of opponents, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Hell yeah. Kind of like an easier to cast casualties. We have Expedition Map to find up a land of choice here. Infinite Guideline Station for just being like a really good multicolor payoff. Make robots as you play multicolor permanents, and then you can pay 12 power, become a 7/15, and you just draw gas. It's really sick. Soul Ring, Tome of the Guild Pack. That's a lot of cards. That's really sweet. And then our aforementioned Jeskai Ascendancy suite. 35 lands. So yeah, looks like he's getting cave. He's looking for some the World Tree, it kind of makes sense to look for that. That's the $8 kind of splurge, I assumed. Is why the Sylvan Scrying is in there, for the fixed to have like perfect mana with a budget mana base. You have Expedition Map, Sylvan Scrying. Kind of makes sense, but still it's just kind of like Pain lands here. That's just definitely makes sense. Nothing's really tapped. He kind of splurges, or she splurges on these kind of nice little, draw lands, that can also produce just mana in a very efficient manner, and they're not too expensive anymore. But it looks like that's kind of where the bulk of the budget went to, is these kind of, and this is a really nice value. This Waterloo Grove is only 51 cents. It's kind of reminds me of the Dreamroot Cascade, which is also like only 87 cents now too. So, but yeah, these are very valuable, right? To just be able to sacrifice them to draw in case you get like flooded. So how interesting, huh, guys? What did you guys think about this one? That was one. That was deck 1, MegAzumarill, Jeskai Ascendancy, Niv-Mizzet. All right, guys, we're banging right. We're getting right into the second one here. This is Ozymandias 9999. Jegantha Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay, so this one is a Jegantha deck. So this is kind of makes total sense for Jeskai Ascendancy. This thing can just, tap for 5 mana, and you can't pay for like the, generic mana, like the Alloy Mirror. You wouldn't be able to use that mana for this because that's generic cost, but you could use it for all the colored mana you see here, like those dual hybrid manas. You could use it for Baylen. So you're pretty set, especially in multicolor decks. And if you have a Jeskai Ascendancy cooking, well, then you're cooking, and you're just untapping your Jegantha over and over again. The Elk, he's such a cool thing. You can't play him in Aragorn, because he's a 5 mana homie. But I was thinking maybe I'd just do Jegantha. And just start with Bring to Light, and then just kind of have black and do Aragorn in the deck too. That would be something, because, it sounds like kind of the perfect fit for Jeskai Ascendancy. Is actually the thing that taps for the mana. It totally makes sense. So here's deck 2, Jegantha the Wellspring, and we have Saheeli the Sublime Artificer here. This one, as I recall, will make Thopters, yes? Oh, servos, okay. Whenever you cast that's so sick. You could think of like how wide you could go as you're like scaling up and doing your Ascendancy nonsense. So if I didn't explain Jeskai Ascendancy well, basically it's just, it buffs up your creatures as you play non-creature spells and untaps them. So you just kind of, and will also let you draw and discard a card. So you get to like sift through your decks, as you continue and you keep chaining and play value spells that draw cards, and like you just keep redundantly feeding your Faeburrow Elders and Jeganthas because they're just untapping, and you're just keeping up with cards because you're drawing so many cards. With your sorceries and instants. It's amazing. Some of these things will actually innate, and not only the instants of sorceries will do it, your creatures will do it with the drawing too. Let me demonstrate this for you. So here you have the Alloy Mirror. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. That's fine. Then you have a card like Baylen, the Haymaker, and that's like the one that's going to simply start tapping your tokens for mana as well. So that's pretty sweet. And then you can also start utilizing your tokens to draw cards as well. So this guy can kind of get really out of hand with an Ascendancy. He especially does really well with Aragorn because he makes a lot of tokens. But you can see if you have these kind of things that are making tokens like consecutively, you can kind of start storming off with like these component cards as well. So Baylen is definitely a glue to Ascendancy decks. You're definitely going to want to have him in there. This is like, your top 5 in your head. You got to be thinking about, I need a Baylen. I should probably have a Baylen in the deck, especially if I'm making tokens of any kind. Here's your Black Market Tycoon, and this will just make treasures for you upon upkeep. for each treasure you control. Yikes. But still sick. Druid of Anima. So yeah, here's your like, this is like, I produce a lot of different colors. So I'm really rocking and rolling, you know? So that's pretty sweet right there. Here's the Faeburrow Elder. Of course, this is just going to be your pinnacle. You know, I tap for 5 mana with my 5 mana commander, and I'm very strong with whatever I do. Whether I'm in Ascendancy or not, I'm going to produce a crap ton of mana, and I'm also going to be, you know, pinging people for 5/5 vigilance. So that's a really sweet one. They have the Fallaji Wayfarer. So we're just checking the marks. We're just checking them off. I mean, this will be a really tough decision. I don't know. We'll probably do something for everybody. You know, probably like get a couple of fetch lands in here as well. Like do some consolation prize. I don't mind sending out a couple of packages here. But definitely the winner will receive the 4 Shocklands, and maybe we'll do like a fetch land of choice to the other guys. No problems there. That would be probably pretty cool for sure. So, yeah, the Fallaji Wayfarer, once again, is just doing those things with Convoke. You know, it acts as all colors, and then it says multicolored spells. You cast half Convoke. That's pretty sweet. So we can just start utilizing our creatures, whether they're mana dorks or not, for casting those multicolored spells by tapping them. Here's Ignoble Hierarch. Yes, 98 cents. Fantastic. Perfect. Elysian Carotid. Yeah, see, this is kind of maybe one of the some more I'm familiar with, not an Insidious Roots shell, but more kind of like maybe one that I've kind of could, you know, recognize just from like, you know, surface level viewing. This would be probably the way that I would go about it, like Caryatid, some, you know, 1 mana dorks. Those are pretty sweet. This one will produce 2 mana as long as you have a creature with 4 power or greater. Fantastic. Curious Follower. Untap another target permanent. So you have these sweet untap effects. Yeah, I think I was kind of missing that too from like my Aragorn builds, was kind of like these like kind of untap effects. I think we did find the sewer camera, or I think, is that what DG? The spy camera? Yeah, that one's pretty sweet from TMNT. It's pretty cool. And it can draw cards too. Not Vine Mystic, that's a banger, right? Because that's just producing like a giga amount of mana too. You know, it's very similar to the Caryatid, but it doesn't require the requisite of a 4-power creature. It just kind of gets busy by pumping in a mana and tapping it for those colors. Crocheting Restorer. Woof. That's nasty, right, too? That kind of does the similar stuff, but that untaps target lands. So obviously we're very devoted to the mana, the creature mana, you know, with Ascendancy, and how Ascendancy, really, you probably just need like a Hierarch, a Caryatid, and like a Crocheting Restorer, you know, and, you know, to have like these kind of, and I don't even know if you would require the threshold, like you really just need like 3 of these kind of in sequence, and you can really start building up a ton of mana at once. You probably would want the threshold, I would assume, but you'd definitely be cooking with just these 3 homies there. And tapping 3 lands, you know, adding 2 mana, adding another mana, that would be very fine. So here's Monastery Mentor. That is going to make your tokens. Okay, so we're kind of seeing the token synergy. I wonder if Iconoclast is in here. Yeah, there's Iconoclast as well. So that kind of makes sense to have Iconoclast. You just have these co-opting. That's definitely like a really good, yeah, I would say that's a really good juice or meld to the deck for these kind of piles in general, with these prowess decks / tokens / ascendancy decks. They go wide synergies. This makes a lot of sense for sure. Monastery Mentor is perfect. Ornithopter of Paradise, fantastic. Poison Dart Frag, very devoted to the mana here for sure. I am seeing that in spades. Sonara, I think, is a really cool one as well. I love it. I love that it's attached with the sorcery. That's going in my Aragorn deck. It's like not even like a second thought. Yeah, so it's like Bring to Light, Sonar stuff, you know, maybe miss out on Jegantha, but I think I can kind of get the job done in the 4-color and still be pretty happy because I like Aragorn. But yeah, I do like this card. It's really sweet. Supportive Parents, also definitely discuss this one. You know, And that one, you don't even have to tap it at all. You just tap your other creatures, right? So that's pretty sweet. You can get pretty snowbally with your tokens there, it seems. Sylvan Caryatid, that's a really cool mana dork, yeah. I like the fact it can't be targeted, right? It's hexproof. There's your Iconoclast. There is your Urborg Elf. And then there's your Utopia Tree. So, a who's who of mana dorks. And yes, a common thread. Bring to light. Yes, now this one would not find our Ascendancy, but it would find pretty much anything else you'd want. Which is cool. The thing is, we have to find the Ascendancy. I feel like that's kind of like the task. It could be done. Burst of Speed. Yes, creature control can haste. I like that. I like the haste. I think that's good. I like this for just obviously being like a really cool snowball-y card. And then you're just tasting all your tokens you made. And just swinging in. Discard your hand and draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. Fantastic. So we definitely want to build the graveyard up in this deck as well. Dig up, yeah, that's gonna be a way to find the Ascendancy for sure. I think that's a great choice for sure, and that's a benefit of being in black too. You may play an additional land this turn, draw a card. That's fine. Expressive Iterations for value. You love the value from Mega Iteration, no doubt. Painful Truths. You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast a spell. I love that. Pursue the Past. Once again, that just flashback value. You love to see it. This is the multicolored from your graveyard to your hand. Also very cool. Ring Sight. Yes, the ring tempts you. Search your library for a card that shares a color with a legendary creature you control. Oh man, I love this. So Jegantha really has some really sweet budget tutoring, doesn't it, guys? It is definitely a consideration, I would say. It totally is. Wow. That's so much selection. You just have to make sure you have a legendary on the battlefield. Okay, supply demand. We're seeing the same kind of options for the Ascendancy. Yeah, I think that's probably definitely one we're going to want. And that is just a sweet tutor. That is 42 cents, guys. Supply and demand. Yeah, that's a banger. Thrilling Discovery. You gain 2 life, and you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. It's a risky one, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta do it when you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good payoff, right? Search your library for a permanent card with a converted mana cost X or less. Put into play, then shuffle your library. Fantastic. Wargate. Right into play, guys. Okay, we've come to our instance. So, here in this deck, we will be playing Abandoned Attachments. That is a, is that a discard first? You may discard a card, then draw 2. And so, yeah, we're definitely committed to the instance of sorceries. This is our instance section. Abzan Charm. Okay, nice. Some good selection there. Just more flashback value. We'd love to see it. Assassin's Trophy to hit. Opponent will definitely search for a basic land, but you get to hit any permanent with that. That's fine. More Auroral Procession. Is this going to be another Roots deck? I'm having a feeling that we're going to find another Roots player here, which is kind of wild. This is kind of wild to me. Azorius Charm. Yeah, that's a bounce spell. These are so very multifaceted too, aren't they? These charms. And all multicolored too. I kind of see it. They're like, they can draw cards for the Ascendancy. They can kind of sift through your deck a little bit. I'm kind of seeing that. Yeah, I like that. They have so much value in that way. Yeah, I can totally see this. Guys, these decks are these decks are so gas. How much does this one cost? It's literally $53. If you do the TCG player thing, you know, you just have to make sure you optimize your cart. And usually you can find it for a similar price. It's not too much more, maybe like $60. Maybe like $7 shipping for everything. But yeah, I totally can see this. This is absolutely just insane. So cool. Cool. I love it. I love it. I love this card. Obsessive Search. Man, there's so many juicy graveyard payoffs here. It's kind of wild. Rite of Harmony, that's actually just insane. Yeah. Wow. I don't even know like what would happen if I could play this deck. I could definitely be like a freaking wizard. Choose 5, that's pretty good. Just a big haymaker there for sure. One lone signet there. But no funny, I wonder if they would benefit from an Insidious Roots. What do you think? What do you think, man? What do you think, Ozzy? You have a lot of stuff leaving the graveyard, it looked like. Yeah, looked like you had like a lot of like things leaving your graveyard. Because you have all these flashback cards too. Something maybe to consider. I don't know if you'd have to pivot your deck too much for roots, but there's a couple of different creatures along the way. Sorcerer's class, that was the big recommendation too for our Ascendancy builds. Creatures you control have added blue or red. Spend this mana only cast an instant or sorcery spell. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that spell deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of instant and sorcery spells you've cast this turn. Yeah, you just kind of just level 3ing this and just kind of going absolute AWOL. And also the creatures will simply tap for your mana, and it's so easy to kind of trigger this off, right? You can just pay into this pretty well because all your creatures will produce mana. Yeah. Yeah, I think it kind of just totally snowballs, and then you're just pinging your opponents with the storming off, as you would say. Whirlwind of Thought is definitely a common thread we're seeing from these decks, which totally makes sense, and it's a banger. This Whirlwind of Thought is such a card you don't want to sleep on. Just draws so many cards. Just cast any non-creature spells I remember, draw a card. Any non-creature spell. Have some nice haste enabler here. I like the Bitter Reunion. I think that's great for the haste. Did you have another hasty guy here? Burst of Speed. Yes, you did. And then Intruder Alarm. Yes, this was also just a big consideration. I did pick this up at the LGS the other day. Creatures not untap during their controller untap steps. Whenever a creature enters, untap all creatures. Fantastic. At the beginning of your this is just like a mini Jeskai Ascendancy, right? Kind of, you know? You can just like tap your mana dorks and then play another creature. They all untap, continue. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Whenever you discard a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Yikes. And then our lands. And it's going to be some variety of some filter lands. We have some pain lands. You have the Cascade. That's definitely a very good option right now. Some tri-lands here along the way. So a little bit different than our homie that was playing the World Tree mana, but definitely also some definitely well thought out of, kind of 51 cents. Looks like they poached all the really nice budget lands along the way. They are aware of all these really sweet lands that are just budget bargains. All right, guys, so that was deck 2. Fantastic. That's Jegantha. Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay, everybody. And our last one is Elemental Blast by Mistillitain. And this is Crystal, the Inhuman Princess. 3 mana. Gruel, flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Crystal deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of colors that spell is. They're dead. They're just all dead. And it produces all these mana, all these different colors of mana. It's a 2/3 flyer. Everybody's dead. This card is like an ascendancy, this like banger. Obviously, this loves non-creature spells. As it attacks, it will make, these wizards that will ping your opponents as you, play non-creature spells. That's wild. And then I saw Lila, and I was just like, oh my god, this is just crazy already. Like, my worst nightmares are Lila, like, cooking with, like, multicolored spells and just, like, continually casting them over and over again, or just getting redundant value from them, Oh my god. This is a wild one, the Lila. She's great. And that's the crap I need for Aragorn. I don't know, like, I've been sleeping, bro. These cards have been, like, kind of around. And they're just so good at, like, redundantly, playing spells over and over again. Okay, some copy and flashback. That's a nice little art for a galvanic iteration. This guy gets buff as you play multicolored spells. I just love, like, and who's our commander? It's Crystal, right? Okay. This is a banger for Crystal, Curiosity. And also Aragorn does a similar effect because Curiosity doesn't care about combat damage. It cares about doing any damage of any sort. So you slap the Curiosity on the Crystal. As you're playing these non-creature spells, anytime she does damage to the opponent, you will draw, And it says to each opponent. So does that mean you draw 3 cards from each opponent? It is. To an opponent. So you're doing 3 damage. That's just draw 3. That's insane. That card is, like, gonna spike with her because she's so good. I could just tell. Curiosity. I don't even think it was $1.50, so maybe it's already spiking already. No, I think it's always been around that. Woof. So then you have Faithless Looting here. Just some nice graveyard. I did like the guided passage. It's like basically, putting your opponents into a tough spot. They just have to give you a couple cards of different kinds. There's our Ascendancy, of course. Good with Crystal. Obviously she's a mana dork. There's another one, the Keen Sense. Man, this thing draws so many cards. It's dumb. Rediscover the Way. It looks like you're just like a value lord. Staggering Insight similarly, but that one's combat damage. Okay, so we do know that. Whirlwind of Thought. Tome of the Guild Pack. Just banging. Bang, bang, chicka bang. This is when you're going to get her a little stronger, right? Now, the question is this. You do get the lifelink because she deals the damage, yes? She deals it, yeah. So you put these things on, you're going to start gaining a ton of life. And then if you can get her pretty big with, like, Ascendancy, you just trample over and just win. Holy shit, man. I just love all these decks. They're just so wild. They're just so wild to me. Lorehold Charm. Yeah, these are just all super cool value cards. This one I don't think we talked about, or this one. This one will hit a... is it a non-creature permanent? Non-token artifact. They'll have to sacrifice. You can resurrect a 2-drop, a 2-mana permanent, or artifact or creature. Creatures control get 1/1 and gain trample. That's pretty sweet. Surveil 2, draw a card. These are instant speed, deals 1 damage each of 2 targets, return target on land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. And then we have our lands here already. So we have some fast lands here, some check lands. No, these are check lands. Okay. Got some 2 or more basic land types. Fable Passage is super sweet deal right now. I think it's gone up like about, but this is Card Kingdom. They're much less on TCG Player. It's like $1. This deck looks very affordable on TCG Player. It's going to be like dirt cheap. There's a lot of check lands here, which are just dirt cheap. This mana base is very appropriate. There's a charge lands. I mean, when you gotta get it, you gotta get it. What can you say? Could be any mana too. Very interesting card, isn't it? Like extra Path of Ancestry is basically, right? And Pillar of Perunes is cool too. 229 for that one. Okay, very well. And we're in 4-color. Correct me if I'm wrong. No. Yes, we are in 4-color. How interesting. She has that weird mana production that makes her 4 colors. I like this. This is so much life for you. It's so much life. Shield of the Oversoul. This will give her flying, but she has flying already. Indestructible. Oh, we like that for her. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Some nice protection, homie. I like it. I like it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. And you draw? Nice. Man, I should have put that in my Titus deck. So good. This is kind of a wild one, right? So is the damage based on just any non-creature spell? Or the cost of the creature spell? Oh, the number of colors it is. Okay, just checking. So many questions with this one. Okay. Protection to your face, too. Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, this is very appropriate. Faeburrow Elder, banger. Yeah. Yep, there's the Fallaji, the very common thread that we're seeing. Faeburrow Elder, Fallaji hookup. Felwar Stone, Growth Spiral. Yep. Kodama Reach. Lys Hexet, that one is kind of a prowess king, right? Makes your non-creature spells cheaper. She'll get a little more powerful. She can get double strike. She's a banger. Narset is sweet. She's just so annoying to play against. She just removes like everything. She has that like removal, you know, and like ramp ability. She's just like very inevitable. She's just disgusting. Oh, I like that. Just like a really like easy cantrip right there. It's like a 2-color hitter right there. This is a 3-color hitter. Yeah, I can dig that. I love it. Bauble. You know, there's a new fight spell from the Marvel set, and it's super good. It's like, if you deal excess damage from the fight, you get to take out a non-creature permanent that they have. It's insane, bro. Based on like the excess damage that's left over. It's crazy. For 1 mana. It's a green-red hybrid spell. This kind of reminds me of the Wandering Mind, but it has prowess, which is probably why they chose it for all the different storming off you're going to be doing. Yeah, I can dig it, guys. Oh my god, they put in anti-joins up. That's so sick, bro. Oh man, I can't believe they got that in there. Another absolute amazing card. Just doubles your legendary triggers. Just doubles them up, no problem. Crystallization. Wow, you really went deep here, guys. Jeskai's Charm. Is it Charms? The Charms are very, very popular. Jeskai Revelation. Mana Cannons, once again. Yeah, I'm a fan of Mana Cannons, actually. I I gotta get on that one. That's really cool. Lightning Helix, Nature's Chant. Yeah, that's a good one. Teamer Charm. All these really sweet charms, guys. Naya Charm, I love that one, to return a card from a graveyard. It gives you so much options, right? You can kind of get in loops with those. Or untap all 2 creatures target player controls. It's sweet. Another kind of pseudo prowess creature here. Nasty. I would not like to play against this one. Ferrous Rokiric. Yeah, he kind of goes into all the token decks for sure. Just like any type of like go wide strategy, prowess strategy. Hero of Precinct 1. That's also a really good one for tokens. Third Path Iconoclast. Bring to light, supply, demand. These homies, guys. So there's that. That's amazing. What an amazing ride that was, guys. I hope you enjoyed the deck, enjoyed the video, enjoyed the decks. I will put all these lists into the descriptions and the users that made these amazing decks too. And you can take a look for yourselves. Maybe pick one up. And yeah, just give them some love, because god dang, these are all so gas. So deck 1, Jeskai Ascendancy with Niv-Mizzet. Deck 2, Jegantha Jeskai Ascendancy. And deck 3 is Crystal, the Inhuman Princess, Elemental Blast for budget. So all these are budget decks, okay guys? 3, 2, and 1. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful day today. This was so fun. The winner, like I said, we'll visit this in 2 weeks, and we'll let them know who won. It'll be fantastic. And I cannot wait. I can't wait to get this video out there. I'm so excited, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.